video, we'll look into the various data types that are available in NumPy array. So let's get started. We will start by importing the libraries. So as a first step, we are going to create an array, NumPy array. So I'm using a Python list. A square bracket indicates the list. So it consists of 3 elements. I'm creating an array using this list. So let's print the list and see. So an array is created using the list. So there are attributes to an array. So there are two things that an NumPy array can do. One are attributes and the functions. So attributes are values that you can access directly, and functions are callable where it executes a particular function. Okay. So let's look into the various attributes that a NumPy array has. Endum, shape, size, dtype, item size, and data. These are the attributes that we are going to see. Endum shows the dimensions, number of dimensions that the array has. So since we just have one axis, our dimension is going to be 1. And the shape. So the shape is it's just 3. The size is also we just have 3 elements. And then comes dtype. So the dtype for a normal integer is going to be int64. And finally, we have to also see item size. So item size can be found using this itself. So item size is the size of each and every individual element in an array. So it's int64. So each element is of 8 bytes. And finally, the data type. So the memory in which the data is stored. So it points to the memory. So let's change this to see 1D array to a 2D array and see how this affects the output. Let's create a 2D array. So we have created a 2D array. Let's go through the same process. So the number of dimensions is going to be 2 right now because we have rows and columns. The shape is going to be 2, 3 since we have 2 rows and 3 columns. And the size should be 2 into 3, which is 6. The dtype should be similar, and the item size should also be similar. Since these are similar, depend upon the individual elements, not to the group. And finally, the location. So we have seen the various attributes that the array has. Let's proceed with the various data types that a NumPy array can have. So I have created a pandas data frame to actually view it in a better way. So let's look into it. So these are the various types of data type that are available in an NumPy array. So the int or the float determines the type of data, and the number that precedes it shows the size of the particular data type. So int 8 represents this is the number of bits. So int64 represents integer with a 64 bit. Okay. So similarly, each type also has a type code, which you can also use to define it as a particular data type. So in type code, you have the first character alone, along with the number of bytes it has. So 8 bits is 1 byte. Similarly, 64 bits is 8 byte. It maps like that. So let's create an array like similarly the one we did before, but this time we will have it the data type as float 32. So we know the data type is going to be float. So the item size should be so the float 32. So we'll be having around 4 bytes. So we know it. So similarly, what I'm trying to do over here is creating a list of zeros and ones and having the data type as boolean. So boolean has either true or false. So all the values that has 0 should be false and the other value should be true. That's how it is. I hope you are able to follow me over here. These are very simple NumPy basic functionalities, and you will also be provided the notebook where you can run by yourself. So this is complex numbers. You know the complex number, it has both the real part and the complex part. So here we are using the type code to actually determine the type, data type. Okay. So we are able to run it and it works fine. So till now we have seen about the various number types that we have. So let's get into words. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating an array of words. So let's create and print. So I'm also printing the data type and the output. So you can see it is coming with less than symbol U and 6. So less than symbol here indicates big Indian notation, little Indian notation over here, and U defines Unicode over here, and the 6 shows the maximum number of characters each and every element in a array can have. So course is the uh, element element in the particular array. So that is we know that the array size is fixed at creation. So what happens is, if I'm trying to include a particular element which is larger than the largest element when it was created, it would not be able to actually fit in. Let's see what the output is. So what I'm doing is, I'm trying to add this practical word to this particular location. Let's see the output of it. So the maximum size is just 6. So I can just print up to practi. AL would be missing because when we have created the array, we have determined the maximum length is going to be 6. So to overcome this, if you want to have a dynamic thing, you can pass the data type as NP object. This resolves this problem. Okay. So now you can see you can actually have the practical fully. So next comes, I hope till here everything is clear. So I'm proceeding to conversion. So you might be required to convert from one data type to another. So what I'm doing here is, I'm actually creating a array of int 16 and I'm converting it to float 32. So I'm kind of from lower and upscaling. In upscaling, there wouldn't be much of a problem since we have more space to actually allocate the same data. And similarly, from integer to float, we are not going to uh, lose data. But a float to integer conversion can result in loss of data. So these things you should be keeping in your mind when you're doing the conversion. So as you can see, the output is in float 32 and the one is preceded with the decimal point as it's a float. So similarly, I'm converting an integer to bool over here. So all the values that are non-zero are resulting in true over here. So these are quite fine. So in the next step, what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to convert a int 16 data type to a int 8. So you know that int 8 has only able to is only has 256 bytes. So the range is from minus 128 to plus 2 1 sorry minus 128 to plus 127. So anything that's out of this range would not be working as we expect, and also the thing that is above 127. Okay, so let's see what happens. So 126 is within this range, so it should be the same. 129 is out of 127. So what happens is, till 127 it's similar. So when 128 becomes actually minus 128. 129 becomes minus 127. Okay, and similarly over here we have 257. So you can modulo it. So till 255 is common. So what happens is, 256 becomes 0 and 257 becomes 1. So let's run and see the output. I hope you are able to understand it over here, but I'll explain it once again. So this 126 remains same. 129, as I said, it becomes minus 127 and 257 becomes 1. So these are the things. So just to see the ranges of the different data types that we are working with. So int 8 has the range from minus 128 to plus 127. Similarly, int 32 and int 64, these are the ranges. For float, we have the precision value and also the maximum and minimum value. So to explore more of the data types, you can go to this link, and also about the big Indian and the little Indian notation, you can see the byte order. So I hope you understood and learned a lot of things about NumPy data type in this video. Thanks for joining. See you in the next video.